Say, kids, what time is it?
It's kind of like watching TV, but, in your car.
Mike and Jay Stevens here. It's Dark Side of the Stream, episode 213.
213?
Tyler, is that right? 213?
How many times we've done
thumbs
this?
Up. He's giving us a thumbs up. Dark Side of the Stream, episode 213 this week. We are doing Jay's pick, which was a documentary he picked on Disney Plus called Elton John, Never Too Late. Jay, why did you pick this documentary?
Well, because I think Elton John is... as wacky as he is, I mean, incredibly talented, and the songwriting of those two is...
Elton and Bernie?
Yeah.
That story...
Probably top notch, right?
Yeah.
Up there with Lennon McCartney?
I wouldn't say that close, but I would say as far as writing partnerships go, definitely in the top 5, if not top 10. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, again, once you get to that level of deciding what is good and what isn't, it's subjective. You can then look at the hits, and definitely those two had it. It was heartbreaking to hear him talk about when they first met and they were living together.
Yeah.
And he told him that he loved him, and Bernie said, I think you need to go see a doctor. It was horrible. It was heartbreaking.
He definitely had some issues, man, to deal with.
I felt
life.
well, dude, with that whole thing about his father, never seeing him live.
Yeah, that's
his dad
sad,
never.
dude.
You gotta think about this. Like, this dude was in 5 years released 14 albums in 1 year alone,
and became one of the biggest stars in the world. One
of the biggest pop stars in the entire world, and your dad still would not go see you. Parents,
isn't that
please.
wacky? Why?
Because he's a POS, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, the abuse that he talked about that his parents put down on him for being a kid, it's obvious why he was who he was and why he dealt with things the way he did. But again, the picture you kept seeing over and over and over again is until he got to a point in his life where he was sober, people just kept using him. His manager, First Love, used him. I wouldn't say that Bernie used him, but I think there was a means to an end for both of them together, and it was a partnership too. But that was like the one thing that I kept coming back to is just like how people just kept using him and using him. But then again, I don't think he really ever kind of, when they had that interview where he's talking about after he'd hit it, and they were like, "So what are your next ambitions?" And he's like, "I don't have any. I don't know what those are."
Real odd, man.
It's
interesting guy for sure.
It's a great lesson to learn that even the people that have literally everything still at the end of the day just want to have a family. And you can ask him right now, what's been the greatest part of your entire life? And I guarantee you,
probably right now,
sitting here right now, Mr. Reginald Dwight would tell you it's raising my kids, hands down. And as a father, I can attest to that. Of all the crazy stuff that I've done, 110% all over again. Best thing in the world. This is Dark Side of the Stream, episode 213.
Something like that. Now on video as well. Now on video.
In a few minutes to discuss some more about Elton John on 104.7 The Cave. 104.7 The Cave. Mike the Intern, Jay Stevens back in the studio. We're discussing Elton John, Never Too Late, the documentary about the man on Disney Plus. I thought what was also interesting about this documentary was the juxtaposition of I think they did a good job of picking out what to talk about in his past. Also, at the same time, his final U.S. tour.
Yeah, they kind of interwove the two back and forth.
Yeah,
it was nice. My favorite part was when it was old footage, and he was talking about a new song that he was trying to put music to for Bernie called Tiny Dancer.
Yeah.
And like hearing just like
how they work together.
Rough concept of it, reading the words. He goes, so I heard this word, and I knew it was going to be a softer.
I think that was brilliant, though, the way... Because Bernie says it, he goes, what we do is very strange. I write stuff, I hand it to him, and some of the time I don't even know about it until it's on the record.
Incredible, yeah.
I think that in itself is very, very cool. Now, back to Paul and John, they worked off of each other. For example, John would bring in like a couple of phrases and say, "Hey, this has to," and then Paul would, "Hey, I
play
got
it
this."
a little. You
Paul would play
this,
something and say,
right.
"John, or Paul, you should do this."
A true collaboration.
And those guys collaborated very, very well together.
This was different.
And to this day, I don't know of any other really strong partnership in songwriting that existed like that, where it was, "Hey Jay, here's the song I wrote," and then you come back and
I'll see you when the record's done. Yeah, real weird.
Other than that, those two, man, and I'm
incredible.
I'm really happy too at the end when they did the final Dodger show. They got a chance to bring him out and he's got the best gig in the world. Think about this.
Well,
dude,
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
And he's getting paid. He can literally go shopping at Walmart. No one is going to notice who he is.
But see, some people want the fame, like the attention and the recognition and the cheer, the crowd every night. Like,
that part of it, that 2 hours, but that's not the same thing. The 2 hours of performing, but then when you try to go to the grocery store with your kids, getting mauled by people,
you can't.
That's not fun.
Yeah,
Even Elton John would tell you that's horrible. So, but Bernie got to get paid, got all the money,
and nobody knew what he looked like.
Got the talent, and no one had any idea what that dude looked like. And that's kids. If you want to take a lesson, be the songwriter, stay hidden, make the money. We'll be back. Dark Side of the Stream next on 104.7 The Cave. Dark Side of the Stream, episode 213. Mike Intern, Jay Stevens in the studio. I got some new Hokas for Christmas.
What are those? Shoes?
Yeah, look at them. Vibram Soles. I'm not endorsing them. I'm just saying they help my back.
Are you sponsored? This hashtag sponsored by
good.
Hookah?
I wish I was for as expensive.
How do you say it? Hoka or Hookah?
I thought they're Hokas.
I don't know.
Tyler?
I'm not cool
Tyler
enough to know how to pronounce
get
it.
an answer from him.
If you are working for a Hookah, Mike would like free shoes.
Endorsement money,
I'll take
please.
some
I'll take some more. They're so comfortable.
We just solicit ourselves.
So good.
What about the drug use in this documentary?
Dark Side of the Stream, we're discussing Elton John and Never Too Late. Of course, you couldn't talk about Elton John without talking about cocaina. And it's
Wild drug
interesting
use.
how he, again, didn't really, I think, lose his virginity until he's in his 20s. Didn't even really know he was gay until he obviously met his manager in First Love, and then they were together, who then that guy was the one who turned him into cocaine, which he said when he first tried it made him sick, didn't even like it. But he goes, that didn't stop me from doing another line.
That's usually the case.
Golly.
And he even tried to kill himself at one point. He almost did, right?
The night before his day, the Dodger Stadium show, and that was something I don't think I ever heard before.
I didn't either.
The one where he's in sequins, and the famous one. You watch video of him and performing, and you would have never known that literally 24 hours before that,
he tried to kill himself.
He had tried to kill himself
died.
by taking 12 sleeping pills, passed out in his pool, and his family had to rescue him and bring him back, and then he laid in bed and then went to the show.
Incredible.
And they were like, did you even think about canceling that? And he goes, it wouldn't have been a consideration. Think about what people cancel shows for now.
Yeah.
He OD'd and was there the next night. Looking
That's
at you,
true
pop stars
rockstar
who like to cancel shows for no reason. Anyway, that portion of it, it's sad. And again, you see those costumes, and it just kind of he said it himself. He was really three people: Little Richard, Great Balls of Fire dude,
Jerry Lee Lewis,
and then the piano playing of
that was a. By the way, one. You just sounded like Jay Stevens. That Great Balls of Fire,
you're rubbing off on me. That guy was in all this. The other thing is, dude, he went on tour with the Ink Spots, which was like early in his career. You know the Ink Spots are?
Vaguely.
Yes, you do.
Who?
You've played them in a video game, and you've heard that creepy music come over as soon as you're playing Fallout.
Is that what that is? Oh, the little
I don't
50s.
ever want to set the world on fire.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
You always hurt the ones you love.
Yeah. Nice.
That's Ink Spots. He opened for those dudes, which is awesome.
Yeah.
The beginning, and I'm a soul homer, but I thought seeing that was so badass. And again, how Europe embraced black music, it just makes my heart sing when you see all these bands go over there and just kill it. Come back here and
like the Beatles documentary, same thing. Yeah,
it's just so incredible. But again, Elton John. I love Elton John's music. I would lean I love Ben Folds 5. Do you know what Ben Folds 5 is, right? The piano trio, which essentially is the way these guys started
out, yeah.
And I think I lean more to that side because I think at a certain point Elton John's music became a little too gaudy for me, too orchestrated, too much. When it was just the trio, I would have loved to see that live. And also, props to Elton John for not kicking his band out, because the band that he started with at the Troubadour in LA was the band he finished with at Dodger Stadium 2 years ago. Props to you.
That's incredible.
You didn't pull a Billy Joel where you kicked the guys out that helped you make a sound, to help you create.
See you, sucker.
And then just start all over again. He stayed with those dudes the entire time. And in that final show where he's talking to them about their playing is on par, you guys are good, this level of professionalism and all this stuff, you could feel that in the room.
Yeah.
And again, this guy went through a lot. At the very end of the day, he could, even though he is extravagant, and I'm sure
he's
likes
a little,
to spend
a little odd
you
for
could
sure.
tell
Dude.
that he took care of his people and continued to do that throughout his entire career. Regardless of the sex and the drugs and all the stuff, he knew what got him there and what helped him stay there. And props to him for that, because you don't see that very often, especially with someone like that, where he didn't have to keep those guys.
No, not at all.
He could have pulled a sting and got
Hire
the best
guys,
and
the best and the cheapest
didn't
guys.
have to do anything, but that's not what he wanted. He looked at it as a band with these guys, and he wanted to remain that way.
Even though it was just him.
Props to you, man. That's I think that's huge. We'll be back in just a few minutes with our reviews of this documentary next on Dark Side of the Stream on 104.7 The Cave. Jay Stevens, Mike the Intern, back in the studio one more time. Dark Side of the Stream, episode 213.
We're still standing.
Elton John, Never Too Late.
Never too late.
Which I
think about love. I think love and family. I think is what.
David.
Like it wasn't like
partner.
making it when you're too late in the game. I feel like it was his finally. It's never too late to find
figure
love.
out what it is.
Figure out your life.
Again, like I said, kids, the lesson here is more money than God, more fame, do whatever hell he wants, survive death who knows how many times. At the end of the day, what did he want? A family.
Just to be loved.
Just to be loved and appreciated. He, of course, loves playing music, and he could have done that for the rest of his life and still had that completely different. Also, the fact that songwriting house handed him a burning package as his first song to work on.
Yeah.
Had that not happened, we'd have never.
Fate.
It's fate.
That was fate right there intervening in life, man.
That's fate. And
was
again,
good.
great records. We never really talked about our favorite Elton stuff. I don't know what my favorite Elton John song would be.
No, but that little era there for a while, like Tiny Dancer,
7 to 75
Your
is just
Song,
destroying
those were just, really nice written songs.
They're all great,
written songs.
great songs. And
I didn't care for so much the I'm Still Standing stuff and all that. And
I'm still standing.
Nah, I was over that. But
he's like, what? Where's the makeup at, bro?
Good hits.
Where's the pyro?
Yeah.
Where's the glitter, man?
No flash, baby.
Are you standing? Where are you sitting? So I would give it probably a straight solid 4.
Yeah, that's exactly. Look, I already held my hand up. Yep.
4.
For those watching at home on video, I already had a 4 up.
Mackey designed outfits, which I knew who Bob Mackey was before all this because of Saved by the Bell.
Wow.
And the reason I know that is because of the Zack Attack episode where they are a band.
Oh my gosh.
The guy that designs their outfits is Bob Mackey, who designed Elton John's outfits and Cher's and everybody else's. Which,
I need to get an outfit from
I know
this
way
dude.
too much about Saved by the Bell.
Bob, you said Bob Mackey?
Bob Mackey.
Bob with an O?
Bob.
With an O?
What?
Okay.
How else do you spell Bob?
Okay, cool. Perfect. I just want to make sure I got the right guy.
I want to know how you
when
spell
I order
Bob other than
I want
B-O-B.
to make sure I get the
How do
right
you spell,
guy.
you spell Bob B-A-B sometimes?
Forwards, backwards, it doesn't matter.
You put a different, what's your vowel in Bob?
It's the O.
You asked me, how do you spell it?
This is what it's like working with us here at the radio station.
This is what we get paid to do.
What are you watching this week, or what are we watching next week?
Before we do that, just as a reminder, I guess we could do that first. The documentary on HBO Max, it is called Superman, the Christopher Reeve story.
Oh, nice.
Which is a great story,
Yeah.
great human being, and of course, he is always going to be Superman in my heart.
Superman, yeah.
And I'm sure yours, because you're about the same age as I am. So I even though I did see the preview for the new Superman, it does look badass.
Yeah,
I'm so Marvel
just
hero.
another rehash, man.
I'm so heroed out though. I don't
heroed
even
out.
care. But I will say that trailer looked badass, and I am excited about it.
I didn't watch it.
As always, watch us do this live and in color on YouTube or Facebook every Thursday at 9 a.m. We also do it as a podcast. You can download it for free on our website or our app for free. Or as always, you can just listen to us do it live on Facebook or my show at 9 a.m. or Jay's show at 6
Or show up
p.m.
at Mike's house and watch it with him.
Yeah,
That'll
if you
be
can
the best
find
experience.
me, watch it. I barely made this one in last week. I had 10 days to do it, and I waited to the last minute.
It's a J move right there.
As always, I'm Mike the Intern. This is Jay Stevens reminding you
We watch
movies
documentaries,
so you don't have to.
to.
It's Dark Side of the Stream on 104.7 The Cave.